All right. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are at. Welcome to SCORE in our second in a three-part series on managing AI and utilizing and leveraging AI. So this is we started with crawl. We're not now talking about walking with AI, and our instructor here has been Floyd. Many of you may have seen him in the previous session, doing a great job. We again appreciate his time. Just very quickly, I always do this, and many of you may have heard this advertisement already, but I just like to give a shout out, or I should say, information about SCORE. SCORE is a free opportunity for small business owners to leverage expertise as they are moving through their career. We offer free mentoring for our clients. Our mentors are experts in their field. They've owned businesses, they've sold businesses, they may have an expertise in a certain area. We'd love to have you join us if you're looking for a mentoring opportunity, or you're looking for as a mentee if you're looking for some help. We also offer these webinars and workshops. This is one of those. These are either free or very low cost for folks to attend and learn about different topics. Our webinars are also recorded and they are on demand. If you missed our first session, you can go back out onto the SCORE website and find the recording. Um, Also, we have a vast library of online resources that you as a business owner can access at any time. It's all free. Guides, templates, checklists, blogs, etc. If you have any needs or any questions, you can look out on that library and you might find some really great information for you to continue your journey in owning your own company. Let me see, why was this not advancing? Um,
I'm seeing it in
my
regular normal view. I'm not seeing it in presentation view, Janine.
Where it just blipped off my screen. That's
Yeah, we're
really
seeing
strange.
scores.
Well, with that, I'll just go ahead. Stop. I'll stop. Uh, Something is freaking out here. Sorry, something is happening with my computer, I think. Anyway, sorry about that. I apologize. Please get in touch with us. Also, if you are interested in mentoring, if you own your own company and you feel like you could give some advice to a new startup or a new business owner, we would love to hear from you. We always need more mentors. This is volunteer opportunity. So you're welcome to reach out to us at any time at the SCORE chapter here in Utah. With that, I'll be quiet now and let Ben take over because he's a professional. Clearly, my computer screen is playing games with me. So, Ben, thank you again for being here, and I will turn it over to you.
Thanks for having me, and I appreciate that introduction. Let me get my screens going here. And I do know that my screens can be temperamental if I don't get them just the way I want, so bear with me. Remember, everybody, I'm going to need you to be active in the chat channel with me as we go along. And make sure you jump in there and you're pretty fast at typing because I can't hear you. So I don't want this just to be a one-way conversation. I'm really looking for you. Thanks, Greg. I'm really looking forward to you guys jumping in and being fast typers and making this a two-way conversation. So with that, let's get started. This is the second of the three-part series. I'm with Professional Masterclass Series. I'm a co-partner with my good friend Jack, and we run Professional Masterclass. And with that, my name's Ben Floyd. I am a certified artificial intelligence trainer and a certified Scrum and Agile trainer. And I've actually been teaching adults online as adjunct faculty since 1998. So since the land of big dial-up, I've been teaching adults online. So that's who I am.
Yeah, that's me.
Yep, that's me. And this is the three-part series, as Janine said. Last time we had the crawl, the basics of AI. Now today we're going to deal with the walk. We're going to teach you a new concept about using AI, and hopefully we taught you some valuable things last week that we can build upon, and then 2 weeks ago. And then in 2 weeks, we will have the third part of this, which is the run series. Get you full-blown running with AI. So with that, let me switch over to here. We will get going. All right. Hopefully, everyone's going to have at least 3 different AI browser tabs open. Does anyone remember why that we want to have 3 different AIs open, 3 different tabs, make them part of our startup page? Copy and paste and compare. Yes. Good job, Chris and Greg. Exactly right. It takes absolutely 0 effort for us to take the most common computer command we've all learned, copy and paste, and to put it into 2 other generative AI and see what their results are. And as a small business owner, getting more results and more ideas is critical to our success. So it's a very quick and easy way to get the gold nuggets. So please have your 3 tabs open with your 3 different AIs that you prefer. And I'm going to put this in the chat channel in case some of you might have missed out last time. Here are the most common. Come on, let's paste here. Guess what? It's not going to let me copy and paste from PowerPoint for you, my speaker notes, which is ridiculous. So I always have chatgpt.com open. You can have gemini.google.com. And then I'll give you 2 more. Perplexity.ai and Claude.ai. Let me type those out for you. I have thoughts on it, Chris. I would position it back to you. What are your thoughts on that Microsoft keeps pouring billions of dollars into OpenAI? You see it on the Wall Street Journal like every other week. What are your thoughts that they keep doing that? Hedging their bets. I find it very interesting that, Copilot and GPT are going to be pretty similar. Investors. Yeah, my guess is Copilot is not going to be around, just like Bing wasn't around very long. I don't think Copilot's going to be around very long in its current iteration, or it will just be the backbone of ChatGPT wrapped up in a Copilot wrapper. So we shall see on that. All right, here's what we're going to cover. We're going to jump in to the deep end and do it quick. We're going to learn prompts that matter. We're going to get it to name the resource, come up with some idea generation for our small businesses, talk about tone and personality and saving, and finally, we're going to get social with it. Okay? All right, so let's jump into the deep end. If I was born and raised in Connecticut, but if I was raised in the city, this would have been me. Sometimes this feels like you're drinking out of a fire hydrant, out of a fire hose, with what we've got going on. Score is very good about giving you the slides and about giving you all these prompts that we will go through today. So if If you don't keep up with everything, please don't feel overwhelmed. Just know that kind of sit back, take it in, think about any questions you'd like to ask, and don't worry, the prompts will be coming to you. Okay? So,
I know that's right.
all right. We are going to jump in to the first part of jumping into the deep end with our chat GPTs and not having to always build things up slowly. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. How many of us remember talking to our kids? And with talking to our kids, we have to say the same thing over and over and over again. Maybe as they get a little bit older, we just say it in a different way. But from the time they were young and toddlers, as soon as they got mobile, we had to tell them, no, don't touch that. No, don't touch that. It's like when we tell kids, don't touch that, it's hot. Don't touch it, it's hot. We're looking out for their best interest, right? What do all kids eventually go and do, even though you've told them, don't touch it, it's hot? Touch it, 100%, Greg. That's called empiricism. That's called learning. We learn by doing. And that's what we do with as we learn these prompts, and as you put these in, you're going to learn, and you're going to learn how to branch out from the basis that I'm giving you. Okay? And this is how, trust but verify. I like it, Camille. And this is how I like to think that my kids were, when they were listening to me, this is what they saw.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's what my kids always heard. I had a saying in my family, which was the car never starts. The car can't start until all the seatbelts are on. And I had 4 kids, and I would hear 3 seatbelts right away. But I had one child that was just bound and determined to do it her own way. And I would just sit there. And if it was cold out, we'd sit in a cold car. If it was hot out, we'd sit in a hot car until I got that 4th click. And eventually it would happen. What I didn't realize was that I did that so often, and it was part of me getting in the minivan and doing it, that when my oldest daughter turned 16 and went to buy her first car, she literally thought that all cars could not start until seatbelts were on. She thought that's how cars were made. And it never dawned on me that I had this disconnect between a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old and being safe with them, and now a 16-year-old teenager not realizing that what I had said, she had listened, but it wasn't quite true. It was for their safety, and I had neglected that. So one of the things that I want you to take away with these prompts today is how can you use them to branch off and learn new things that pertain to your business. So, there was my car. Sorry, I was one slide behind. All right. We're going to jump into the deep end here, and for the very first prompt. And the nice thing is with AI is we do not have to build up from a basic prompt and get more in depth and more in depth. And I have found myself with 2 hours, 3 hours, and like 2 volumes of an old encyclopedia by the time I'm done. And we don't have to start that shallow with what we're talking about. We want to jump into the deep end right away. So let me show you how we're going to do that. Does anyone have an idea of what these brackets represent? There's a word I'm looking for. Think back to your school days. Boundaries include, close, Amy. I like it. Qualifiers, formula, input. Perfect. This is called a variable. We're going to start to use variables throughout our prompts. Variables are awesome to use with prompts. Okay? It's a container in which we keep information. And that way we don't have to rewrite everything. We simply have to change what's in the container. Okay? And what's in the variable, and we change that, and the rest of the message changes with us. We use this all the time, and we just don't realize it. We haven't put a name with it, but I'm going to show you why it matters here. Okay? So, here's a template. Write a social media post about our new product. And then down below, you can see I put the product name is going to be this. Focus on the key benefit. And then I've got another variable, what the key benefit is. And use the hashtag. So in this, when I want to write a social media post, I've got 3 different variables. I could sit down and crank out all of my social media posts at one time. I could say it's this product, and here's one benefit, and give me a hashtag and put a hashtag in for it. Then I can keep the same product in there, change up to another key benefit and the hashtag, and write the post for me. And I can get those done one right after the other and be done in less than 5 minutes for this product. If I have several products and I'm going to use the same benefits or hashtags, I simply change what the product name is in the variable, and it writes the social media post for us. Let me give you a few more examples of how this works. All right, so here's one I wrote. This one pertains near and dear to my heart. Write a social media post about our new product, Mellow Yellow. Focus on the key benefit. It tastes better than Mountain Dew. And use the hashtag Mellow Yellow for the win. You cannot get Mellow Yellow out here in Utah. It drives me up a wall. My brother lives in South Carolina. I love going out to visit my brother and his family, and I tell my niece and nephew I really love them, but I actually love going to the store and getting Mellow Yellow as the icing on top. All right, here's another one.
Yesterday's pages did not reflect my best work.
Okay, I'll give you a better one than that. We can simplify it and say, hi, put in the customer's name. Thanks for buying this product. We think you'll love it over the other stuff. This is how we actually use variables all the time. We do this in emails. We do this in auto replies. We do this instead of having to type out the entire thing. We simply use a variable to say, put the customer's first name in here and then put whatever the product is. And now this seems like a very personalized email that they would get for buying that product from us. So variables help you out and be able to change things quickly. I'm going to go through a few more. There's the social media post about Mellow Yellow. All right, you guys can do this right now if you've got your windows if you've got your AI windows open. List out 5 interesting facts about, and then put the brackets, animal, period. And then down below it, you define the animal, colon, and I chose a manatee. You can pick any animal you want in the world. You simply go up to where it says manatee and change that to elephant. Change that to billy goat, mountain goat. Change that to hammerhead shark. And it will keep spitting out 5 interesting facts. Has anyone tried this yet? Try putting in one animal and then changing it up to another animal and see how fast it spits out 5 facts, interesting facts for you. Everyone's typing in their AI and trying to see what their interesting facts are. I found Google Gemini to be the quickest on this. Any results from anyone? If not, I'll keep going. Why is this better than writing the name of the animal each time? So we are writing the name of the animal. This is a very overly simplistic way to show this to you. But when I go back to this one and I want to get all my social media posts done for the month, I would sit down and be able to jump into the deep end and crank out my social media posts in probably less than a half an hour. And I'm simply changing up which product I want to talk about and what is the best item that I have. Jose, are you saying you ran one and it always came back with a bullet point style for your 5 interesting facts? Oh, they all did. Okay. Chris, got some results in Claude, a good page of 5 items and 5 paragraphs with a bold headline for each. Okay. Going back to Elijah, when you are doing this one right here, hopefully you have 100 customers a day that you are wanting to send this out to. You would want to automate this template and this variable. You would not want to capture their name or the product and type those out one by one. It would just be too much for you and your business. So variables help quite a bit for personalization. And the other way is also for when we want to generate ideas. And thanks, Chris, for telling us what you got there. You could do this for something, for literally anything. I just want to give you some examples so you could see. Create a poem. It needs to be 3 paragraphs long and write it about this in this language. So I want a poem that's 3 paragraphs long and write it in Italian. Now that I look at it, if French is the language of love, I probably should have done it in French. Yeah, Chris, writing short stories would be a great way to do it. So variables you're going to use a lot in your business, especially as you get more and more customers and you want to do personalization. Okay. I'm going to keep showing you these variables, and when you get the PDF at the end today, you're going to see the variables in all the prompts that I've been using, okay? So that's why I want to set the groundwork for that. So let's talk about some prompts that matter. All right. I think mine just flashed off of the screen for some reason. All right, I think I'm okay. All right, prompts that matter. All right, if I wanted to sit here and brainstorm, let's say my business is kind of stagnant, or I'm trying to, oh, I forgot to point out one thing. Did anyone pick up on the difference on this slide compared to this slide? I didn't pick up on it till right here. Yes, Sterling, spelling error. I thought it looked great. I love the embossed feel of it. I like the neon color. And then I was like, hey, wait a minute. There's 2 eyes. And what's hilarious is that the dot above the eyes, for the most part, are circles. The extra one is a square. I have no idea why. This is one of those little hallucinations. So I had to run it again, and then finally I got one that actually worked. So remember, always check. Trust but verify. I love that somebody said that earlier today. So good job, you guys, for picking up on that spelling error. And I was like, well, I don't want them to see I made a mistake. No, I want you to see. I want you guys to see that these LLMs do make mistakes. All right. This is a brainstorming prompt. You could sit down and write a very long prompt. And again, I was hoping I could copy these right out of my PowerPoint and put them in the chat channel to you. And it is not playing nice with me. So I'm going to grab an open folder here and watch it pop open right in front of you. I thought it would. So let me see if I can grab it from here. And this is a brainstorming prompt for you. And this brainstorming prompt is when you want to sit down and say, all right, I've got to come up with some new ideas. What I am doing is not working. We've kind of plateaued out here. So here comes the prompt, and you'll notice that there is a variable in it. All right, let me bring it back over to you. Hello, chat channel. Here's the brainstorming prompt. Yay, it worked. You are a highly experienced and awarded creative thinker with the ability to come up with fresh and different ideas. I want you to provide 5 unexpected ideas about, and then what the subject is. These ideas should not use the typical approach or copy what other people are doing. Please present your ideas using markdown and bullet points, giving each idea a snappy title, then clearly describing the idea. Once you have given me your ideas, I want you to ask me if I would like you to expand on any of them. Stop and wait for my response. If I select one of the ideas, I want you to expand on it by writing the following sections. Titles, description, yada, yada, yada. You guys can read. I know you can. And then you'll notice I put the variable at the bottom. So all I would have to do with that variable is put whatever the subject is going to be right after that colon. Can't copy it from the chat. It lets me copy from the chat. Zoom is not playing nice with us today. Anyone else? All right, well, you're going to get all of these prompts. So the idea was, let me see if I can slide this over so you can see it. It's the webinar style. That's what it is. All right, I'm going to slide this on so you can see it. You can see right here at the bottom of the prompt, I gave it the whole thing. And at the very bottom is where the subject goes. And right here at the end of the variable is where I could change up the subject. And I could quickly, instead of writing this entire thing over and over again, simply copy, paste, and put in a new word. And it would brainstorm more and more ideas for me. So if you use 10 variables, will the LLM provide 10 sets of ideas? So what I would do in that case is I would simply, in the instructions, say I want 10 ideas. And so that wouldn't change. If I wanted 10 subjects and I wanted, this is like 6 sentences long, I would simply say, give me 5 ideas. This one does say 5 unexpected ideas. And then I would simply do one subject at a time. Remember, LLMs get confused when they start trying to go left and right at the same time. So my advice to you is to say, all right, I need you to brainstorm 5 new ideas on this. Do it. Okay, those look good. Okay, let's do it again on number 2. How's it look? Expand on this one, expand on that one, and then do a third one. If you were to put in 10 different subjects, I would venture to say by the 5th or 6th one, it would start getting jumbled. And what you will find is that by number 8, 9, and 10, it will give you just one sentence, maybe half a sentence at a time of it giving you information. So it starts off really well on the first few, and then it says, okay, it knows what I'm talking about, so I'm going to give you less and less information. So when you give it a big convoluted prompt with 10 different subjects, it starts to get confused and it starts to make assumptions. So my advice again is one subject at a time. All right. And I am sorry that you can't copy these out, but you will be getting them all.
But wait, there's more.
Yep, there's more. I got plenty for you today. So the brainstorming one is a very good example of how you can jump right in. And I have 5 or 6 sentences, and the only variable that I changed was the subject. And just like Elijah said, was what if I had 10 different subjects? Great. Now here's the other thing that you can do and jump right in. So you don't have to start off with a blank slate or things that are like, well, no duh, I've already tried that. You simply say, I've done first level marketing where I've sent out mass emails. I have also done a newsletter that I'm as my first level marketing, and I have a $500 a month budget. I've done second level marketing techniques where I've done strong call to actions, I've done discount codes, and I have done a few paid ads on Facebook. What I want you to do is brainstorm these ideas and be third level marketing deep. So that way it already knows if things fall within this first level of just sending out personalized emails, been there, done that. Don't repeat it. Second level, I've run some ads. I've done some call to actions. I've done some discount codes. Don't suggest those. Been there, done that. I need you to go deeper than that. I need you to come up with even more creative marketing ideas for me. So I didn't have to spend a half an hour getting to that point. I was able to jump right in and say, here's the first level I've tried. Here's the second level that I've tried. I want you to give me third level type of information right now. Let's get down deep quick. And it handles that very well. You could even say from Warren Buffett's point of view, how would he do it? And I prefer to find someone that was more of a small business. Tony Hsieh, in the beginning with Zappos, or Jeff Bezos in the very beginning with Amazon, or J.K. Rowling when she first decided to start writing. I would use them as examples and say, how do we get to that third level deep and be scrappy about this?
Why? Why?
All right. You don't have to go around the entire web chasing down every single prompt and finding everyone who's going to give you a new prompt sheet, okay? You can simply act like a toddler. Toddler's favorite question is why. You give them an answer and they respond with why. If you take that same approach with how you interact and talk with the LLMs, and you say, why? Why did you come up with those type of brainstorming ideas? Why did you think that was a third level marketing? Challenge the LLMs and say, no, I think number 2 and 3 would be second level. I asked you to give me third level. Why do you think that they're third level? And most of the time it's going to say, I'm sorry, you're right. Let me give you some better ones. And it will give you some better ones. Nobody knows your business better than you. And if you spend all of your time trying to create this massive document with all the world's greatest prompts, you'll eventually just stop using the document altogether. And yes, I'm giving you a big 34-page document today. However, it gets you started and it gets you pointed in the right direction, and it makes your learning curve shorter so you can get back to your main business of what you do for your small business. But just keep that in mind. Always question why. If you constantly challenge the LLMs for why they gave you an answer, it will usually give you a better answer that nobody's prompt could have given you to start with. Any questions on that? Comments before I move on? Okay, I don't see any coming in, so I'll. No questions for me. This is the first time I've heard about third level marketing. Yeah, Greg, you can do that third level into not just marketing, but any aspect. You can do third level financing, third level questions that you think you will get when you pitch your idea to VC venture capitalists. You'll receive the file here in about 20 minutes right here at the end. Can't wait to get the replay, Cynthia. That's why I started off, Cynthia, with the little boy trying to get a drink out of the fire hydrant. I know it's a lot to take in. We'll ask Janine if it will be emailed. All right, let's keep going here on prompts that matter. You can tell the LLMs to interview you. You can simply say, I don't need to know all the information. I don't know all the information. I know that I want to get into this TikTok-toe, whatever social media app. You guys are supposed to all laugh at that. It's a joke. And you say, I'm going to finally get into social media, and I'm going to get on this Facebook thing, and then I'm going to get on the TikTok-toe platform. Now, I need you, LLM, Google Gemini, Perplexity, LeChat. I need you to interview me on how I'm going to create a YouTube short or a short video that will fit into those platforms. And now the LLM would say, okay, Greg, what topics would you like to talk about? How would you like to drill down into them? Would you like to have a script type of format? Would you like to do this off the cuff? And it will simply keep asking you questions to drill down to what you're trying to achieve. So instead of always having the right prompt to start with, just tell the LLM to interview you for it. And I have a very robust prompt in here that explains this. I've got one just about business plans, okay? And it is a four paragraph prompt about writing a business plan and to ask you all the relevant questions that a business plan should have in it. So the prompt is, look, I need to have my ideas to take to the bank and ask for a small business loan. I need to write up a formal business plan for the bank. Here's my parameters. Here's a few variables that I've put in here. Now interview me. Greg uses this most of the times. I am prompting, ask me any questions you need to give me a thorough response. It's a good practice. I would always tell it to ask me any questions you need for clarification and before we go on to the next section. Because if you're asking it, say 3 things to give you, I want to take care of number 1 first, and let's not deal with anything else. Again, remember, it gets confused when we use quite a bit of information. So this one that I'm giving you in here about the business prompts it's asking you everything about the business plan. Okay. And what I would want to use is exactly what you're saying there, Greg, is I do want it to stop and ask me questions. I do want it to have clarifications, but I want you to stop at the first one and let's just deal with that and nothing else. And then we'll go to the second one and deal with that and nothing else. And we'll go through them one by one. And that way the generative AI can stay laser focused because it has a tendency to wander if we don't do that. So thanks for jumping in there, sir. This business plan that I'm giving to you guys has all the different stages. It has company description, organization management, products and services, market analysis, marketing, sales and strategy, operational plan, and executive summary. And with this prompt, the LLMs are going to interview you and help you generate your business plan in a matter of minutes, maybe an hour or 2. So, Chris, value proposition. I think this is an excellent tool to use for value propositions for way that you have not even thought of. And I would definitely use the 3rd level deep in saying, I see it this way as a value proposition. My wife, my spouse, my neighbor sees this as the value proposition. I need you to give me 3rd level deep. We already recognize these are in this type of vein here. I need you to come up with unique value propositions that are going to hit my ideal target on this. Yeah, it's Greg, sorry. It's unfortunately it's just the webinar settings that come with Zoom. It's not letting you copy and paste them out. All right. So that's the business plan 1 to help you out. We're going to ask it to name the resource for us. Okay, because we always want to stop and check. Is this fact or is it fake? Now, what I want to do is when I'm checking if it's a fact or a fake, and I actually had this happen yesterday when I was putting some of these together, was I actually queued this up for, and I went through everything on a restaurant. And I know very little about restaurants other than I like to eat at them. Okay. And I challenged it for its resources and I said, where did you get your information from? And I would say about 75% of the resources, I knew exactly where they were getting them from. They were getting them from my preferred resources that I like to get my information from. But then it started giving me some other things that seemed highly credible and highly relevant to the restaurant industry. And I was like, snap. Oh, great. That is terrific. Can you give me a link to it? And it gave me live links to the data. So I was actually, by fact checking it in the different LLMs, I was able to find new and relevant sources. And so will you when you try this. Is the 3rd level deep use case referenced in the prompts that I provide? Yes, it is. It is definitely in there. And you will receive the prompts. There's 1 prompt per page. So even though it says it's a 34-page document, just remember it's 1 prompt per page. I'm keeping it clean, just like I try to tell you guys with your use in LLMs, is let it focus on one thing and just that one thing. And that's what I'm doing on the page for you. And even if you like to go analog and print out all 34 pages, then you got plenty of room to take notes on it too. All right, idea generation.
I spy.
All right, bonus. Anyone know what movie this was from the 80s? Big bonus if you know this one. No, it was not Field of Dreams. Good guess, though. It would make sense, right, with all the corn? Tally. Big props. Tally nailed it. Children of the Corn. Crushed it. 1984. I spy corn. All right. So, yep, you got it, Tally. I agree. There was a couple of books of Stephen King that I would read, and I was like, yeah, I'm not reading this at night anymore. I'm only reading this in the middle of the day while I'm sitting out in the commons area of the student quad, and I'm going to have a shotgun in my hand. All right. So, another prompt that I really like is, what are they doing? Okay. And the prompt that you will see says, you are an expert industry researcher who can help me identify the main companies in this market and tell me how I can be better than them. I want you to find the best companies that offer the variable, that offer a similar, we'll say in this case, a product, and in an area that I want to be in. We'll say Salt Lake City, or we could say Seattle, or we could say San Diego. Hey, just S's for today, I guess. So I make the product as one variable, and I make the area as another variable. Deliver your response on what my competitors are doing with the company name, a description of what makes them good at what they do, and a sentence as to what I could do better. And then I need a live link to their website. So use LLMs to look at what your businesses are doing and use that to your advantage. See how they're promoting things instead of you sitting there and trying to go through their entire website and figure it out. Let these 3 different LLMs give you a good return back as to what they're doing. And this is where using 3 different generative AIs comes in so handy, is all 3 of them are probably going to give you a slightly different answer. So you'll get to know what they're doing. Can LLMs access private or confidential data? Just wanting to make sure we won't get in trouble for asking these questions. It only depends on what they've made within the public domain, Amy. If it's publicly accessible by clicking through the web, that's what it's going to find. It would not go through any private or confidential data. It can't crack a database, say, for example, and get into that type of area. It would strictly, it has to be public domain is what these things are searching for, Amy. Now, let's talk about scaling. No, not this thing. This stupid thing lies to me every time I get near it. They're all defective. Every single one of them here in my doctor's office. I hate these things. They're defective. All right, I'm talking about this scaling. And our business is doing pretty good, and we want to learn how could we scale this? So again, the prompt is going to be, how can I scale my business? How can I be thinking about scaling my business? I want you to prioritize non-obvious ideas and fresh approaches to me. I want you to present your response as a table with the following columns: approach, why it works, how to make it happen. And then I only have 2 variables in the entire scale prompt. So variables are huge, and you're going to use them a lot to your advantage. But this one right here lets you think ahead of, it's like when Chipotle started in Denver, it was one storefront and it did really well. And before you knew it, there was 5 of them. And I was working downtown Denver at the time. And before you knew it, there was a Chipotle on the 16th Street Mall. And the line was not only out the door, but it was wrapped around the corner. So you wouldn't stand in the way of the 16th Street Mall shuttle buses because people were lined up so deep trying to get one of these. And the thing was, if you saw that line, most people would say, I'm not standing in that line. But they were so fast at getting you your burrito, it was worth the wait. So this is a great one to start to think about how can you move your business along. Data mining. Now, Amy, this is kind of where you were at too, but this is a prompt for data mining saying you're a highly skilled data scientist and innovation strategist with extensive experience in market research. I want you to identify trend analysis, opportunities identification. I want you to look at market statistics and data points. I want you to look at pattern analysis, and then I want you to find opportunities. So I'm giving it free rein to go forth on these. This is probably the biggest prompt that I give everybody today. And then I wrap it up by challenging it with the one variable. I want you to challenge my own assumptions and look for contrarian viewpoints on this topic. So it's going to go out there and look at patterns, opportunities, market statistics, everything, and then come back and challenge me with what I'm thinking of. And now I've got someone that I can debate back and forth, and it doesn't lead to a disagreement and we don't talk to each other for 2-3 hours because we have different points of view and neither one of us is willing to give on the idea. Now, I want to get through this. Tone and personality and save.
Nice attitude.
Yep. Thank you very much. In ChatGPT and Perplexity, you can actually save different variables, different personas, different profiles, and say, this is going to be my scaling profile. Save all this information to my scaling profile. I want you to save this to my email responses. This is my tone. This is what I like to say. These are the type of closures I like to have. Save that to my email profile, and it will remember it. My ChatGPT knows that I prefer my infotainment to present information as entertainment, and as we go along. So these 2 LLMs allow you with free accounts to save whatever your tone is, whatever your attitude, whatever your point of view is. You can save these different profiles and you don't have to keep typing them in. You can simply say in Perplexity, I want you to use my email persona. I want you to use my marketing opportunity for Seattle and San Diego. Let's talk, and jump right into the deep end. So those are really nice features to have and not have to start over each time. You just have to put in the upfront work of explaining the different personalities, the different emails, whatever it is, the different marketing types that you like, and it will remember them and you don't have to keep doing them over and over. And finally, I'm going to make sure that you've got some great things for social media. The prompt that I'm using for everyone is I need 3 posts a week for LinkedIn using these 3 topics. And I need 6 weeks worth of posts because I don't want to be doing this every week. I want to get them all cranked out and I want Buffer to drop them for me. So I need 6 weeks of posts, of 3 posts a week. I need to know the optimized time to post these, and then give me some suggestions as to what groups I should be posting to. And it will actually look within LinkedIn or Facebook and tell you, here are the different types of groups that you should consider dropping these posts in that you will get the most out of. Or if you want to be an influencer, you got to talk to Tic-Tac-Toe Bob, and Bob's the one that you really need to be talking with. And then at the end of the prompt, I put, ask me any clarifying information that you have. So cranking out and getting into the deep end of the pool, especially if you've saved your personality, is a great way to quickly and get 6 weeks worth of prompts post for any media channel. All right. I didn't realize how much of a huge fire hose I was giving you. Have all the jokes today you've used been written by Ellen? No, they're all by me right off the cusp. So I'm sorry, dad jokes for the win. That's just how I roll.
All
Now I'm going
right.
to drop this in here, this crawl one. I mean, sorry, it's not crawl. Why did I say crawl, Janine? It's walk.
Walk. We're walking.
We walked fast today, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone should see that. Please just let me know thumbs up if you got the PDF file in there. Chris says yes. That's it. That's a good help. Yes, watch the recording, Jose. You get a lot more out of it the second time, especially if you can slow me down to half speed. Feel like we started to jog. That's good, Amy, because in 2 weeks we're going to be running. Variables was the big thing that you should take away today, and we've got some gold, some diamonds for you in 2 weeks.
All right.
Jeff got it too.
Right. Yep. Looks like everybody's. We'll stay on just for a minute so everybody can grab that as quickly as they can. Again, thank you, Ben. Any other questions for Ben? Anything else that he might be able to answer questions about in the last couple of minutes here?
The PDF is in the chat channel
Ma-
there, M.
Megan is asking where PDF. Sorry.
You're very welcome, Greg.
Sorry, Mike. Yeah. All right. So the PDF will be sent out along with the recording of the webinar. See, somebody's asking, Megan's asking if you can repost it.
Okay, I'll drop it in there again, but Janine was just saying it will be sent out with the email, with the recording. Here we go. It is loading, and it's in there.
Yeah.
We will see you, Jose. I see a question here. What are the pros and cons of Perplexity? I don't have the paid account on Perplexity. The pros are I love how it gives me gives me the sources where it's finding, just like Claude does. I love that. I would like to see more of what Perplexity would do if I had the paid account. But I have not found too many downsides of Perplexity. I just keep my holding my breath that I don't know if anyone noticed this past week, but the New York Times settled with ChatGPT for $10 million for their infringement of training their LLM off of the New York Times past articles. So we're starting to see some of that. It's cheaper to settle than it is to keep fighting. So if that's the precedent, then I'm hopeful for companies like Perplexity and ChatGPT that they're going to be sticking around and keep building a bigger and better product. Not so much on chatbots either. We won't be talking much about chatbots. If you reach out to me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn right there on that QR code on the right. And I do have some information for you for teachers and how to be able to use chatbots to your advantage as a teacher.
Okay. All right. With that, I am going to wish everyone a wonderful afternoon. And Ben, I need to chat with you if you wouldn't mind, if you can just stay on for just a second if you have time.
Okay, will
All
do.
right. Thank you, everyone.